friends over at Sellhound have outdone themselves. They're giving the Deathpiles and Taxes listeners an opportunity of a lifetime.
They're going to help us make some money, get rid of that death pile, get your items listed, because you can't sell out of an empty wagon.
Man, sell all that you got, kill that death pile. When you go over to Sellhound, use promo code, capital letters, Deathpiles25 to save 25% off of their service.
And get out there and start making some money. I am happy to say we are back on the air, at least I hope so.
Are we?
Welcome, Deathpiles and Taxes listeners.
Hey, welcome to everyone on CastBox and YouTube. I can guarantee you're getting this.
Man, Derek, it has been an interesting week, to say the least.
Yeah, not much has happened, so I guess we can just move right along.
If this is your first time listening, you are in for a treat.
This might be episode 1. I don't know how this is going to end up.
Episode 1, we have done 125 previous episodes. We don't know if they've been lost, stolen. Derek ticked off the wrong person.
I got the wrong, oh man. I'm guilty.
The problem is when you get big league, I think is the term, you get people listening. And apparently...
We got people listening.
Derek has done a few things.
Well, here's the thing. So I should have listened to Jimmy Cheapy Pants when he's back in the podcast about a year ago, give or take, maybe 6 months. Time's all irrelevant right now. But he said, the only thing you might have to watch out with is the music. And I said, I'm not worried about that. They'll let us know. And I got it all backed up, which is all true, thank goodness. So the last, probably after work till about midnight, for the last 2 days, I've been re-editing 125 episodes of the Deathpiles and Taxes podcast and taking out anything that could be copyright material, questionable, especially at the end. I just like to leave a little music, make people happy.
But you've got the written consent from Brandon Flowers, right?
That's one that we could actually probably work on.
I mean, Gene Simmons. I know you know the guy.
Apparently, I knew somebody that knew the guy. I thought, now, bear with me. I'm guilty. I'm not justifying what I did whatsoever. But I thought we were kind of in a fair trade zone where we're not making I thought we were good, and I thought, well, worst case, I'll just snip it off. What happened is
sound like my doctor.
Is our host. Well, okay, here's the real thing that happened. Spotify got in some big trouble. I've done some investigation while I've been editing stuff. Spotify had a lot of podcasts like ours, and people came after them because now they got all this money because they're doing,
billions.
They're doing the Rogan podcast. They got the Obama and Springsteen podcast. They're shoveling out a lot of money to people who can do podcasts.
Yes.
Now, everyone over here is saying, they got a lot of money, and they went and looked and they said, the Deathpiles and Taxes is playing Born to Run without Bruce saying it's okay, which Bruce did not say it was okay. And you got to take that down. So no problem. I'll fix it and put it back up. The problem is they hit multiple. And then they said, okay, we're suspending you. Which, let me get caught up, let me catch my breath.
Derek's done everything that he's supposed to do.
No problem. So, really, the last 2 days, you can ask my wife, I came home from work, and luckily, I've been on the YouTube. On the YouTube, we've been not monetizing, but I've took off all the copyright on YouTube, because they'll automatically scrub it out for you and do all the work for me. And so I was kind of using it as a backup anyway. So I downloaded every episode of the Deathpiles and Taxes that we had on YouTube, put it back over into my little nifty editing machine. I went through and made sure everything was edited, and if it wasn't, I cleaned it up a little bit. I resubmitted it through. This is a show about selling on eBay, folks, but we'll get to that. Online sales.
You want to make sure you do the right thing, or you will get suspended. And if you don't play by the rules, then you can't play anymore.
We'll get to it. So I went back through and I put all the episodes back up on our Podbean, who's our host, account, and I said, hey guys, we're good. This is about midnight last night. I started sending these texts. I'm like, okay guys, we're good, because they said once we're clear, there's a 2-day probation, suspension, and afterwards we're back up and live. And they said, oh, you're good, huh? Well, what about this one? And it was The Rona Rolls On. Well, I know that I've edited that one.
Okay.
I went back through and listened, and it was all edited. And I said, no, we're good. And they're like, nope, it's still flagged. So I said, okay, delete. It's gone. It's gone. I got it. We'll bring it back. Whatever. But it's gone for the point being. And the lady was like, oh, okay, well, you need to get cleared through Spotify that you're good or whatever. So I contact Spotify.
Wow.
I sent a screenshot saying, they said we're good. You just need to plug us back in. We're good. Here's a screenshot of them saying we're all good. And I got to the point that Podbean isn't responding to my emails anymore. I've probably barked up the wrong tree. I'm a little aggressive. I want to get the show back out for people. And I get it. I'm not trying to justify it or whatever. I get it. I was wrong and I fixed my mistake. But I did hours upon it. I did a lot of time.
Well, I asked some of the listeners, I kind of threw it out there to saying, hey guys, we might be getting like shut down. And I says, if I were to tell you that, what are some of the reasons that you might say that I could see that happen?
Hey, shout out to the listeners that did. I had a few people reaching out to me and said, what happened? So I just said we're trying to get back up. But here's what happened. You've heard it now. What's the reasons, Adam?
There are a few reasons that I've heard from the loyal listeners of the Deathpiles and Taxes.
Our pirates.
Our pirates, like I said, we talk about selling, making money online. If this is the first time, go back and listen to several. This will make a lot more sense. That's right. This might be episode 1.
I have an idea that if it ends up being episode 1, we'll have classics come out bi-weekly until we're caught up.
Classics. Okay, so the first one was people thought it could be the copyright music, but the problem is we did not have the express written consent from the MLB. So you and Bud Selig apparently are on speaking terms.
If I would have just edited out like the trading cards that don't say Mets or whatever on them, if I would have just been this is a random artist, if I recreated it my own self.
That's right. You should have done that. I heard there's been several terms that now have been said that can't be said anymore. I believe you used the term midgets for midget wrestling. Is that could have been
little people wrestling?
One of the things. I also heard there might have been some sort of self-gratification innuendos that you tried slipping through the cracks.
I believe the only I don't know. Okay, I went back and listened to some things I've said. I've been pretty good.
I've heard that that Derek is now starting to make more money than Gary Vee, and he's mad about that.
That's probably true.
I've heard that.
We kind of have a rivalry.
The other thing I've heard is I did use the term Redskins instead of Washington Football Squad,
or WFT as I like to call them, Washington Football Team.
Yeah, I heard that could be the. There's also apparently, I was also actually contacted by the legal department of Barnes Bullets. Apparently I believe there is a conflict of interest of Mr. Michael Benjamin Painter being on the podcast.
We probably should have signed a contract.
Well, good for you. I actually did. It's in blood with Michael Benjamin Painter. We spit on the hands, and had
that conspiracy runs. That one's got some thread. That's got some merit to it.
That's kind of what it is. So that's kind of.
I saw they had a billboard that they're hiring. That wouldn't cost him his job.
I know. If he did, we're working on some things. There's a potential of some.
I need a guy to edit now. I don't know that I can trust myself.
I got a lot of cards that need to be listed. We can see what we can do there. So.
It's been a week.
It's been an interesting thing, Derek. The problem is you got friends in low places, and apparently somehow the word got out, and we're a big deal now. And people
apparently we got to be a big deal, and some people weren't so happy about. And again, I'm fine. I was wrong. It won't happen again.
Good job. Way to go.
Without having people sign things and whatever.
It just makes me feel good. Like we're noticed.
We were definitely noticed, and I hope we're re-noticed. I hope the people that couldn't find us, or whenever this comes out, it will come out, wherever it comes out, that people can find us. I've looked into getting super geeky, but if we take our RSS feed to a new host if need be, and there's ways to do it. So
I did shed a tear. I believe yesterday was the first day in over 2 years, so let's see, what is that, 7 plus a couple days, probably in 850 days that we did not gain some new listenership.
Here's the thing, we're still live on YouTube, and we're still live on Castbox.
So I didn't see it, so we probably still had listens. I guarantee, I know we had listens yesterday on YouTube, because I was about 50 of them.
Fast forward to certain points, first 30 seconds, usually take a break about this window for about 2 minutes to do anything stupid there. Okay, at the end, there we go, did it get chopped off or not? One weird thing, now here's something that was, here's just, I like to go conspiracy aliens. We don't get into a lot of the podcast, but I love it. We talk about Squatch every now and again. There's a certain episode that was muted by eBay for me that was, they just take out the copyright thing, so it's fine on their algorithm, whatever. Or not on eBay, on YouTube, sorry, I get them all mixed up in the studio. There's a point where the episode ends. If you can find what episode this is and let me know, it is on our page. And if you let me know which one it is, I will give a prize. I will give a Deathpiles and Taxes rookie card, which I got.
Ooh.
If you can tell me which one this is. There's an episode where it ends, first person only. Supplies limited. But it's true, I will do this. It ends and it goes silent for like 30 seconds, and then it sounds like an airplane taking off.
Really?
And then the episode ends.
Really?
And I did not do that. I've edited every episode that we've ever done.
Was it the Prumpy bonus interview episode?
I can't say if it was or was. May or may not have been.
I told you, those aliens are real, man.
May or may not have been. But it was just weird because it goes silent, and I know that's where the music was, and they just kind of cut it out. But then at the end, like the last, maybe second and a half, it sounds just like this jet engine going. And I thought, well, that wasn't me.
Wow.
How did that get there?
Well, starting over, this April 1st, because that's right around, this is not April Fool's.
Oh, I should have said that. I could have fixed this on like April Fool's last week, guys. Totally got you all.
Totally, no, yeah, because it really happened.
When you go there and it says isn't available, that was just me pulling the plug for a day or two.
Yeah.
Boy, if I'd been thinking.
I know, I thought about it, but I didn't want to ruin it for others. So, no, I'm in a great mood. Excellent.
I can tell.
I
thought you were just going to be, I thought this might be the breaking up. You'd just be done with me. You'd go off on your own.
I did hear that you are trying to maneuver for a new partner, so this is your way to kind of kick me out.
Man.
I'm like a bad rash, man. You ain't getting rid of me.
That's true. I did my taxes with you on Saturday, so I need you annually a visit. I can't get you too mad.
I'm going to just say this. Derek, how did your taxes turn out?
Well, it's about as even as you could get. I was a little upset. I have to pay $1.
You have to pay what?
$1.
$1 difference between.
I was hoping to get back $1.
No, I wanted to make you pay so that
I know.
You realize.
You took some enjoyment in it.
I do everything I can to take care of D-Roy. We make sure we take timely payments that we send out to the IRS.
I'll tell you, Adam took his time and he went around and he figured it out. So I went from probably having to pay more than $1 to only having to pay $1.
Yes. We maneuvered it the way it should be. So no, it was real fun. Real good there, Clark. It's a great week, man. March is it's over. By the time you listen to this, it's going to be April. It's like 75 degrees.
It is getting nice weather around here.
Yardy weather.
Were we going to talk yardies?
We're going yardy.
Did you watch, I told you the basketball. I've been March Madnessing it up.
Yes, I did watch March Madness.
Did you watch the Michigan UCLA game?
I watched it last night.
UCLA has been a very surprising team to me this whole tournament. They came in as a playing team, and they're just fun to watch. I know I'm not supposed to like them.
You love Bill Walton. He's your guy. You love him. You love when he's on the radio broadcast.
I hear Lou Alcindor was a good player.
Yes.
They've had a few out.
If you have a Lou Alcindor rookie card, you would definitely want to make that. Did Mark Eaton play at UCLA?
I believe so.
Wow, I don't know if that's true.
I'll Google it.
I'm going to check the.
I mean, with me this week, the track record could be off. Derek said he did.
Derek said he did.
But no, they're playing really good. Gonzaga's looking amazing. It's going to be a good finals matchup coming out. I guess we're going to the Final Four. On the other side, Baylor's been doing good too. I might as well cover them all while we're here. And Washington, or not Washington, but
wow,
yeah, Houston.
Derek's right. It was UCLA.
I know my jazz man.
Well, don't mess with that guy. I did not know that.
Yeah, he didn't start playing basketball till he was about of college age too.
Wow.
But when you're 7 foot tall, there's not many options. So
yeah, how's that work?
You gotta make some money. You gotta make a living somehow.
Gotta fill those shoes.
But yeah, been great weather. We got Yardies coming up. What's your thought about the Yardie season, Adam?
I cannot wait. I told you I'm very excited. We are, I believe, going to start the process of finishing our basement. I got a lot of stuff that needs to get moved out of the basement so we can finish the basement. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of home decor, a lot of random board games.
So you're more of the selling, not the buying aspect right now.
No. I've got plenty of stuff I bought. I need to sell.
It's time to offload.
It is the sell game. I need those fundage to go into the vacation fund, and that needs to increase.
So is this money?
severely.
Is this money going into the Disneyland fund, or is it going into Adam's buying more and grading more cards fund?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Fungible.
Non-fungible sports cards.
Oh, there you go.
No, it's going into the Disneyland fund. These will be Adam's card business is a part of this podcast, and therefore he does certain things taxable wise with it that helps him out on his taxes.
And remember, when you're hitting up yard sales, whether it's Adam's or anyone else's, that person's probably cleaning out the basement and trying to go to Disneyland.
Yes.
So they're probably open to make some offers.
And I know cash money speaks volumes.
Although last year, and there wasn't a whole lot of them, and I know Adam's going to go off on this year, but make sure that you have a Venmo account, because there's people that were taking it, and sometimes you don't have the change or don't want to make the change. I know if you're doing dollars, quarters.
Yeah, you don't just show up with the honey.
No, but I mean,
variety.
but have it available in case.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, well, my son's got these cards, but he's been gone off buried for the last 40 years, and she brings it out and it's, Michael Jordan rookie set. And, well, I know there was some money.
Hundred. I got a hundy for you.
Well, I don't want to take cash. That's kind of big for me down at the bank.
Whatever.
You got Venmo? And you'll be like, no, I'm morally against it. I'm not going to do that deal with a Venmo for you. You got to be prepared.
Have you ever had somebody told you at a yard sale, I'm not talking, because I have been to establishments, they said we don't take cash, we only take card. Have you been to a yard sale that says we don't take cash?
Not big bills, you guys. Those would be counterfeit. There's no way of knowing. I've got one of those magic pins they have down at the bank ATM machines.
I believe you like I believe that the podcasts were uploaded correctly.
Hey, they were. They were uploaded correctly. They were just
big bills, they were counterfeit.
They just had some questionable content on there that I did not own.
About midgets.
I never said nothing about it.
Washington Redskins.
It wasn't me.
Innuendos.
I think you got a guilty conscience and you're coming clean right now.
I do. I'm really worried because I feel like probably a lot of that.
Maybe I should just click the not safe for work or the explicit. Maybe we'll just be an explicit podcast now.
No, we can't do that. I've got a new friend who is an ecclesiastical leader.
Well, I'll just mark it.
But I don't want to be associated with anything that.
Well, look at you, just highbrow, rubbing elbows.
It's a friend, it's an acquaintance who I see on a daily basis. That I don't want to be associated with that kind of filth.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I didn't know you were Mr. Lottie Dottie there. Well,
I'm just saying I can't put myself in that kind of a situation. I mean,
you gotta look yourself in the mirror. Is that what you're saying?
I am. I gotta make sure I'm on the up and up.
Okay.
That's why I don't online gamble, but I use Robinhood.
That's why I don't online gamble. I prefer to do it in person because I don't trust them with my Venmo.
I don't want them to know my.
Here's some cash money.
Cash money, the IRS is it's difficult to track.
Oh, yeah. Well, all that being said, I don't know. Did we cover that? Are we good on that aspect, or do we need to go deeper dive?
We're glad you're listening. We're hoping that this podcast makes it up. Let's just say
this. It will be somewhere. It will be listed. Whether or not we have a new host or not, that's yet to be determined. But I guess you'll know before us at this point.
If we need popsicle sticks and rubber bands to get this thing up, we will use it.
Hey, wherever you're listening, that's where we are.
Well, it's taxes of Deathpiles and taxes. It is that time of year. We're going to have to do something. Uncle Sam wants his money.
Who doesn't want their money?
Well, he's got a lot of it, but we all got to put it in the system. That's the country we live in. So, need to file your taxes. Got questions? You want to know more because you're a reseller? It is a little more difficult than it is, especially if it's your first year. You're getting into it. You're going to get these 1099Ks. You can get information that you don't know what to do with, and we don't want you to pay any more than you have to. So, reach out to us here at Adam Up Accounting. You can go to our website. You can check us out on social media. We'd love to help you out. Like I said, we know the resale game. We're here to make sure that you pay your fair share, but don't go back to jail.
Hey guys, it's Derek Everitt and Adam Beesley from the Deathpiles and Taxes podcast that you're listening to right now.
Your favorite accountant, I know. It's the greatest thing in the whole world.
A lot of you have been asking what you can do to help the podcast out, and seriously, all we want is a review.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a 5-star review, but if not, be fair, at least a 4.
We know you're listening. Like I said, we see the numbers. We're all over the world. Like I said, it's just we see it. We appreciate everyone listening. Help us get a little higher up there. Help us get more new
Helps
listeners.
with the algorithms. People can help find us out, and it really does help. So if you can go to Apple iTunes, that's where a lot of you are already listening, or wherever you're listening.
Spotify, Apple, all of these different things. They're all out.
Wherever you listen, give us you don't even have to write a review, just give us 5 stars. If you want to give us a review, that's cool too. We appreciate it, and keep listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Welcome back to the newest, hottest podcast on reselling on the interwebs. Episode, what are we, Adam?
New one. Breaking the law.
No, hey, stop. They'll flag you.
Breaking the law.
Did you ask if you could sing that?
I'm not singing anything. I'm just saying the words like the things you like to do.
Okay.
Did you have to talk to your life coach this week?
Hey, here's the thing. If you guys enjoy the podcast, this new hit podcast, and you want to give us a review, put in the comments of the review why you think the show got took down.
Ooh, that's a great one.
And give us 5 stars if you're happy that we're back.
Oh, it's an interesting week, Derek. This has been, actually it's been a highlight for me. I know you've done all the heavy lifting. I've quite enjoyed it.
I tried selling my car. I've been busy. I've been busy.
You're talking to an accountant who it's during tax season, and I'm like,
I spent an hour with you.
I'm like 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single
The
day.
best part is Saturday after taxes. I thought, okay, for the podcast, I get to talk about how I had to pay $1.
Yes.
And I get to talk about how I was going to buy you Chinese food, but you wouldn't answer my text, so you didn't get. So I thought I'll have this to rub and Adam's face the whole show, and then, well, I made a few mistakes as it came to light. I had to just eat crow and just be done with it.
All right, friends. If you know that a large friend of the Husky section, do you really think,
Allegedly.
do you really think he cares what kind of Chinese food you bring him? You just bring him something, say, well, you didn't tell me what kind you wanted, and you show up empty-handed?
Oh, I sent a text. I didn't know if you'd already ate. I didn't know what was going on.
Doesn't matter if I already ate it. I can eat again.
I bring something, you're like, oh, I'm on a diet. Or, oh, I don't know about that. Oh, yeah, I'll eat the rice around that.
Oh, don't even give me that garbage. You blew it.
No, I'm trying to slim down with this new cabbage stew I've been eating.
I haven't had it for a while. I need, obviously, I need it, but what I'm saying is...
I should have grabbed you something.
You should have, but...
I should have not put music on the end of the podcast.
You did something even better.
Oh, okay.
After the podcast, or not, after we did your taxes, as in the part of taxes of Deathpiles and taxes, the podcast that teaches you how to sell things online, file your taxes.
Not only do I talk to Adam weekly, but I am a client.
I can promise you the errors and omissions that Derek had with the podcast, putting up illegal content. I don't do that anymore. I learned my lesson a long time ago.
Ooh. Well, I'm not going to get into it.
We always learn better from our rights, from our wrongs. I mean, I've done some dumb things in the past myself, but...
They say that you never overcome, when you do get things good, that you never learn and grow. But when you make mistakes, that's where the progress really is. So we're going to go from, it was a good podcast to a great podcast.
It's a great podcast.
We had 125 stepping stones.
We had been suspended. We got street cred now.
They took us we went the hard knocks, we went back in the alley. We were in the stabby part of town. We were in somebody else's terror-free selling, and we got took into the woodshed.
I will say, for some reason, your phone, the algorithm, they know you. For some reason, I keep getting on my phones on the Facebook Watch. It brings up the Comedy Central roasts, and I don't know.
I thought you were going to say it was like a bail bondsman or something.
No, it should be.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
But there was this one. They had Martha Stewart and the Biebs, and Snoop Dogg, and then several other people, and somebody gets up there and says, it's pretty sad with all of you gangsters up here, and the person who served the most time in prison is Martha Stewart.
Yep.
That one was quite good. But no, getting back to, it was a great Saturday. We got Derek's taxes done. He didn't bring me Chinese food, but that's okay. He made me sit down and send off an order of 20 cards to PSA, and I made it in by the skin of my chinny chin chin. I got in before the whole thing collapsed.
The big shutdown, the big collapse. I'm sure everyone that deals with cards has heard, but yesterday, kind of weirdly, they raised their prices, and I guess it didn't curb the amount that was coming in as Adam said it wouldn't. we got a news notice that PSA basically shutting down all submission unless you're paying for like the premium level. I think that was like $300 to $500 a card and up, mostly up. Shout out to Big John from New York. He'll get that one. Oh, Adam, turn that off. I will get. Now I gotta cut all that. Oh my!
It said something about an animal selling something.
It's that commercial for some insurance company.
That would be Whoop, there it is.
And if that song came across,
we would have been
that would have been it. Our next band, we might be 3 strikes, you're out.
Yes, you probably will.
We're walking on eggshells here, buddy. But no, so PSA had to send out a thing saying we're no longer taking submissions unless you're paying the big bucks, and basically that's going to be until July 1st. It's the estimation. And,
I bet it's longer than that.
Oh, I guarantee it's longer than that because we're talking about over 10 million cards a few weeks ago. I doubt they've sent that many out, and we know Adam even sent some in, as he just said. So we're looking at a back catalog of anywhere from 5 to 20 million cards. Is that fair?
I'm guessing 20 million is kind of my guess.
And so they got a few graders. Apparently they're paying people about minimum wage to try to grade cards, and it's not going fast enough. That's the rumor.
But I got my 20 cards in before
Adam's in the pile.
I am in the pile. In fact, I'm going to grab my picture real quick, and I'm going to... Is my Goldberg card.
I make sure you got your Goldberg and your Rock. And if you haven't been watching the Young Rock, I can plug things for free. I just can't say anything about it. The Young Rock on NBC is a great show. Your kids would love it. And it's also making that man's stock go up, so that's how I made you get that card in.
Yeah, so I got the Young Rock, the second year Rock, Goldberg, which there are not many of, like
the football, the college card.
Yeah, the Georgia Bull. The other one that's out there right now that's close to it, $5,000.
There you go.
If I got $1,000, I would be.
You're welcome.
Boys in Bendy, you're welcome.
Me and Painter, we turned you on to this wrestling game.
You guys do turn me on a few things.
Hey, you can't say. Well, I don't know. That's probably good. That's probably fair.
I do have to.
I mean, it's the truth.
Got another tax referral client. $100 bill was.
Oh, that's what we were going to talk about.
I know. Apparently, he brought in a binder, and Bill, I'm going to not shirk my responsibilities, but I found a card in the stuff that you gave me. I'm sending it off to grading. If it comes back the way it is, Bill, you're going to have a nice present because.
Bill, you're welcome, because I went through the cards and I said, "Hey, this is a pretty good card here." And Adam's like, "I don't think that's what you think it is," much like the Bill or the Mark Eaton earlier. And he looked up and goes, "Huh? You're right."
So, Bill, there could be a real nice payday for you coming up. I said
by 2024 when Adam gets this back from PSA, but you know
potentially. And oh man, Bill is a good guy. Bill, wow.
We need to get Bill on the show. For the people that don't know, we met him at an eBay sellers group.
He's in charge of the eBay sellers group here in the state. Does a lot of work with those guys. Really good reseller, but he's got a binder of wrestling cards.
No.
He wants to give to you.
No.
Yes.
No. You get out of here.
You get off your.
You get out of here.
You get off your hunch. I've been disappointed all week. That work a little. Apparently, Bill's got some binder full of wrestling cards, and if it's anything like the binder he gave me,
bless your heart, Bill.
You could be in for a
good time. If this is true, this might be right up by my wedding day as far as excitement I've had.
Wow.
Wedding night. I can't say that because they'll take me down. Having those people that are ecclesiastically led.
Wow. All I'm saying is
wow, that's super exciting.
And you went through the binder. He had some gems.
Bill had some quality
that I did not know about. My eye is not trained like your eye. So
you're getting there, young Padawan.
I'm certainly trying, but I sent off a couple cards that were in the allotment. I've got some of my soccer cards that I'm really pumped about, like real pumped, because I saw this other website talking about scarcity, about supply and demand. Apparently there's a lot of people in the world that like this game called soccer. I'm not real familiar with it.
Footy.
Okay, footy.
Football is our other buddy Bill. If you're Bill or an Adam, you get to come on this show. That's just how it is.
Great name.
But if your name's Alex, you're probably going to have a hard time.
That's right. So I've got some really good soccer cards I sent in. I sent in, I'm going to dare call him my close personal friend, Max Hall. Can I call him that?
Yeah.
I mean, we're on.
You like him a lot more than I do.
We're on a speaking basis. I mean,
you know each other now.
We do know each other. He knows me as that guy, but I've got a rookie signed Arizona Cardinal card.
And I know him as that guy. But speaking of people that have made mistakes and done some hard time, I didn't do quite as bad as our buddy Max.
Yeah. That's the best part. We're all able.
And now look at him, a lot better off in life.
Great situation now. Got a Tom Holmoe card.
Excuse me?
Tom Holmoe. He's apparently the athletic director from BYU. I've got one of his cards to send off to PS. Well, not have. It's already gone.
Does he short person wrestle?
Yes. The Giff, Frank Giff. I think that's his name. It's not his name.
Gifford?
Yeah, Gifford Nielsen. That's
there
what
you go.
I got there. And
I'm telling you what you got that you sent off.
I don't even know. And I got our buddy Lavelle. I got a couple Lavelle Edwards cards. So
my favorite Lavelle story is I've probably said this on the old podcast, but not on the new one. I can tell all my old stories again. Lavelle and Ron McBride, who I think is still with us, they were the big coaches around these parts. One was for the University of Utah, one was for BYU. One dominated during the time that they were together, but it turned into be a good rivalry and kind of brought it back for a little more balance. Anyways, they used to have a show on a radio station where they just tell their old-time stories, much like this, but we talk about reselling, they talk about football and what they did as successful head coaches. Long story short, Lavelle Edwards is the best coach BYU football has ever had. They named an ice cream after him, Lavelle's Vanilla, which is really kind of an odd flavor to have named after you. Maybe it was his favorite. I don't know. But when he went there with Ronnie Mack to the BYU Creamery, which is another funny word, or thing or phrase, if you think about it long enough. Easy. Anyways.
We don't want to get banned again.
Here they come in, two most successful coaches in the state. One is taking his buddy from a rival college to get his ice cream, and he gets up there, and they make Lavelle pay for Lavelle's Vanilla, and old Ronnie Mack just lost it on that. Thought it was the funniest thing ever. They name it after you, but they still charge you for it. And that explains BYU. Go ahead, Adam.
Myself and actually JCP, Jimmy Cheapy Pants, the real Jimmy Cheapy Pants. Dennis Everett, I'm coming to you, buddy. I am coming to you, Danny. Oh boy, you about got me in trouble. Apparently there is some misinformation, I believe is the term they throw around now in this cancel culture. There have been some misinformation.
Oh, we were canceled.
We were.
I just had an epiphany.
Apparently, Denny, which we gotta have him in. Father's Day's coming up.
Yeah, I'll let you schedule it.
I will.
I've already been turned down by one family member to come in here on the show.
I'll get Denny in. I gotta clear some beef I've got with him. The good part is most people know like Denny's kind of like a screen. Like you let the cool breeze come in, you keep the insects out. That's kind of how Denny is. Like you don't know everything in or out. You don't know what's good or bad. Kind of a combination between both. And luckily, a family member that I know.
I don't know if I'm insulted or not by that. I don't know.
That's what they took. Apparently, there was a loose interpretation of the word Jimmy Cheapy Pants. It's only meant for James Benson.
Well, what's your father-in-law's name?
I don't know what you're talking about. But someone else he accused me of calling.
Is he known for being a big spender?
JCP, don't go there. It is not him. I was able to clear the air with this potential person.
Has he ever listened to the podcast?
No.
Okay.
So that is not the original JCP.
And for those of you who don't know, we used to have this podcast called Deathpiles and Taxes, and we talk about all this in the old show.
If you're just catching up, but myself and JCP went and saw the Ronnie Mack and Lavelle Edwards show on remote. We both got to go talk to him for a little bit. Got signed football from both of them, so it's a prized possession. It's sitting there in the PC at the house in the man cave. So.
And we don't have a lot of things in our PC, as Adam said. Everything's for sale, but that one would be a premium.
That one is not for sale. In fact, I'm hoping to be able to get Bronco and Kalani to sign those. I want to get all the coaches.
You said two more BYU coaches, but you didn't say anything about Kyle Whittingham.
I'd like to Kyle on the. I already have his autograph. I need to get it on the football.
I'm selling a Bronco Mendenhall signed BYU T-shirt if you're interested.
Don't need it. And I know.
Well, you want his autograph?
But I want it on the football.
You can cut it and paste it. It'd be worth about the same.
I know the way you like to cut and paste and slap things together. I like it legit and real and legal.
Legal, okay. You want legalese.
Legal way to do it. So.
Yeah, well.
That's Ronnie McLavel Edwards. That's where we're going. I got his cards.
Yeah.
We're sending. I'm telling you, I just cannot wait for sports to come back. I know I'm going to make a grundle of hardcore cash, and I'm guessing
how much
Venmo.
How much is a grundle exactly?
It's what people sometimes refer to as a boatload.
Okay.
Or sometimes use a different term that I can't use on the podcast.
You can fit a lot more in a boat than the other term.
Yes, depending. Prison wallet.
You just stuck yourself there.
I did.
You had a grundle of money coming in when sports come back.
Yeah, so because I'm going to go to these
Said something about Venmo.
Tailgates, so I've got a lot of cards to sell.
Adam, we have a sports and coffee shop opening up.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Now, this is pretty exciting if you're in the state of Utah and if you cover sports like we do. And again, I'm giving free ads here for people that didn't pay for them, but that's fine. I think it's called Sports Cards and Coffee. There's a shop, and it's based out of Los Angeles, California. Down there, it's in Hollywood, and they kind of took off. They bring in a lot of high dollar premium items. They do a lot of the sports breaks, a lot harder to get cards. But they also have a coffee shop, so you go in, and it's like an Apple Store look, but for sports cards. That kind of high end.
Well, you had some good luck at the Apple Store in the Bay Area
in San Jose.
Yes.
Okay, it was one of those. But it's just a higher end sports card store. But the thing that's cool is there's only one in LA, and then the second location is being opened in Salt Lake. I'm gonna get up there, maybe not the opening week, but definitely. I'm thinking there's gonna be some cool things. If not C, price probably a little high, but
are they gonna let you in?
Oh, maybe you don't know this, but I'm kind of a big deal. Although we got took down this week, I gained another huge follow on Instagram, Kathy Terrell, who is, well, if anyone sells on eBay, you probably know her. She's a big deal. I'm going to try to get her on the show once we get reestablished as a real show.
Can I dare say that she basically, can I say it? Do you think I'll get in trouble?
I don't know what you're going to say.
I know, that's the best part. Dare I say, she laid the groundwork for Lori Grenier at QVC.
I dare say that she definitely at least knows her. They've probably done business together.
That's what I'm saying. I think that because she's kind of laid the groundwork, she's been in the game for a while.
Yes, I took a lot of her. She has her I Love to Be Selling. She has different platforms for if you're new, medium, high-end seller. But a lot of her ideas, she has some really good ideas, and I've went on there. I've watched some of her material. I would say I stole it, but she said, this is free for people to take and use. I've implemented a lot of her wisdom into my sales, and I've seen that help my sales.
We don't steal anymore, Derek.
I know, I'm sorry.
You just said that, but if she's giving it to you for free,
yes,
you're not stealing.
Go look at Kathy's stuff. She has YouTube pages. She's got pages galore. She has seller groups, but she has a lot of good ideas. She knows how to sell. If you were on QVC Live pitching whatever products they brought out, you know how to sell stuff.
I think what we need, we need like the legit script. Like we have to do the do's and don'ts of what we can and cannot do anymore on the podcast.
No. Yeah.
When you shoot from the hip long enough, eventually you're gonna get something blown off.
Hey, we did pretty good until we got bit by that rattlesnake.
What was it? Was it Plexico Burris?
Shot himself, yes.
Yes, it's gonna happen.
Hey, speaking of Plexico, do you watch any of this Real Housewives of Salt Lake? You up on any of this?
No, but I heard somebody got in trouble with you.
So
laundering money.
It's a really trashy show. But where it was in Salt Lake, my wife's watched a few of the other ones. Sometimes it's just fun to watch bad, trashy TV. It just is like a train wreck watching. The women in Utah, there's a lady named Jen Shaw, who's Sharif Shaw's wife.
Oh, yeah. Coach for the Utes.
I'm guessing that might not be happening this season. She just got arrested yesterday.
Oh, is she the one that got arrested?
Allegedly, a lot of fraud. Like a lot of those phone calls that you were getting that were taking advantage of old people. Fraud. Uh-oh. She was generating the leads to the scammers, allegedly.
Whoa.
And old Sharif is claiming that he doesn't know anything or didn't know anything about it. I don't know. Hope he did. He seems like a genuinely nice guy.
This came across Twitter first. We are not repeating. This is not us originally.
This is all hearsay, rumor, and innuendo.
What's his name again? The guy at Twitter. He's getting in trouble a lot. The guy with the big beard.
Sharif?
No, the guy.
I don't know.
Jack Dorsey is not his name.
I don't know.
He's the one that said it, not us.
Jack Dorsey told me. I've never met the man. But
the guy who made Twitter.
the point of the story is, it has nothing to do with reselling. Maybe it does, but don't sell fraudulent things. Sell on eBay. Make an honest living. Don't steal from hardworking musicians and try to make people's lives better. Just do it the right way.
So going back to my NFT non-fungible tokens, Derek, if you would have been doing, if the artist, you could have legally owned that music.
Here's the thing with NFTs and with that. So apparently, if ESPN shows something that I own the NFT to, they aren't paying me royalties.
They're supposed to be.
How's that work?
Exactly.
That should be, with everything that you were pushing with those.
I believe.
But I've looked into it. They don't.
I believe it increases the value, and then when you go to resell it, that's when you get the pennies from it.
So say something happens where Michael Jordan hits the shot, and if there was an NFT at the time that's been played thousands of times, those places that play it, whether it's news media or ESPN or whatever, if you really own that, should have to pay you some sort of residual.
Well, yeah, but it was never the original one. It has to be the original one.
But I mean, now going forward,
yeah.
But they're saying that's not happening with ESPN.
Well, I don't know yet. But I hope they have the express written consent from the NBA.
I'm going to say if not, here in 20 years, there's going to be something going down where there's a lot of back pay coming out.
I'm sure there's a lot of things. It's still kind of in that weird
Wild West.
Phase.
Yeah. So,
Derek, what have you sold this week besides your soul to the devil?
Well, here's something fun. So obviously, I've been doing a lot of sports cards. I sold like 3 of my Snickers candy bars for $10 each. Have I talked about that on the old show at all? The old pecan Snickers that was a limited edition.
Really good right now.
There was a limited run. They were made out of Texas. Pecan Snickers you can only buy online. I bought a lot of them. I was trying to sell them for $20 a piece. I sold a few. After a while, my wife said you need to lower that price, so I went down to $9 a bar, and they're selling like you wouldn't believe. And so I sold a few of those, which has been kind of fun. I haven't tried one. That's one of the ones that's like, I would like to try, but I got such a supply that I would eat myself out of a lot of money if I did.
Jalapeno M&Ms. Don't try them, just sell them.
Don't get high on your own supply.
Can we say that?
We just did.
Okay.
If I have to take it back, if Podbean tells me I have to, I guess I have to. But I'm glad they don't really listen to this.
Did that really happen? Did we really get banned?
Yes.
Or is it just a bad April Fool's
We've
joke?
been suspended. I don't even know if we're back yet. I don't know if this is anywhere but CastBox and YouTube at the time of its first airing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There was I won't get into detail. We talk sports cards a lot. Jimmy is patiently waiting for me to upload some of my mail on YouTube. So
he is patiently waiting.
I got it set up and everything. I just haven't had time, so I got my mails piling up because I got some content to create. But there's PSA is having their issues, like we talked about earlier. I have some PSA cards that are low population from a wrestling company that's fairly new. And I had a gentleman reach out to me yesterday and try to make me some offers. And I took a couple of them, but he had some others that he wanted, and these cards are pretty valuable. The stock on the people are pretty high, and there's really not that much of a quantity. He said, well, what's it going to take to get me to get those? And I said, really, I'm not in a hurry to sell them, especially with PSA shutting down today. This was yesterday, and I was doing all my other stuff. And I said, it's going to go, as far as I can see, these are the bigger stars of this new company, and the new company's taking off, and it's going to be a long-term investment. Right now, I got them at a fair price, but I think it's going to go up. So I'm really not in a big hurry to sell them. If you want to go like $10, $20 off since you bought all these others, that's fine. I'm asking a few $100s for these cards. And he sent back, I went and looked at his store, and he's a wrestling collector and all that. He sent back, oh man, I'm a fan of this company. These were for my personal collection. Now that you say that, I just looked at the PSA news. Nothing's going to be coming out for a while. I don't blame you for doing what you're doing.
Smart move, Eric. Smart move.
And so, but with that being said, I've sold a few wrestling cards. I've sold, you know how it is. I sell a little bit of everything. I'm excited for the yard sale season just because I want to get out there and see what people have. I want to see if we can get there. I mean, there's people like Bill with their binders that, like, if you say, hey, man, you got any sports cards? I'm collecting them, or I'm getting into them, or you can take Trey with and say, hey, my son's getting the sports cards. You guys happen to have anything? Who knows what might be in the basements of some of these places if you just ask.
You don't know. And like I said, I mean, even things that I thought I knew were good, I didn't know. Derek knows, apparently. I mean, apparently he does, because if this comes back, man, it's going to be a good time in Bendy.
Well, say it comes back at an, 7 or an 8.
Oh, we're talking several $100 bills, if not tens of 15s or 20s, $100.
They're going to ask us to leave that buffet when all the shrimp are gone.
So I know, Derek, you never boast. You never talk. You know the game. And like I said, I'm learning the game. I'm more, like I said, in the tax side, learning everything. I mean, over the last 3 months, you sold a lot of stuff.
Yes, true.
And we're talking like, in the 5 digits of items.
100
of dollars.
Yes.
And that first number doesn't begin with 1. It's higher than 1.
So here's a funny story. You asked me once what was the highest thing I ever sold, and it kind of put me on the spot, and I kind of have COVID brain issues, and it's coming out more than my short term. Somebody asked me about a movie I watched the other day that I watched with my wife. It was a new kid at work, and I was kind of talking to him. I was flattered because he guessed my age, and he thought I was like 29. I said, I've been 29 for 20 years. And so he was just young and dumb more, but it was cool. I couldn't think of the name of this movie I watched for it was about 30 minutes, and then I go up to him, I'm like, oh, it was called this. And he's like, oh, that's cool. So, anyways, you asked me the highest value thing I ever sold a few episodes back, and I think I said something like a couple $100 or something. I can't really think. Well, if I just thought back to my Jerry Sloan stuff that was selling, I've had $1,000 transactions more than once on eBay.
I was with you, though, and the guy threw down 20 G's.
I almost had it.
You didn't seal the deal.
I'd have played that different. I sold the deal. I didn't collect at the time.
You got to collect.
Which, we've talked about the scenario, if that ever happens again, there's at least going to be some sort of earnest money or that kind of thing.
Yes.
I've thought it through several times. But then, didn't burn the bridge, listen to you, Pelican and Painter's advice, which is back on the old show if it exists or not anymore, but will be a classic episode coming out at some other point. I didn't burn the bridge, and I was still able to make a good transaction with him that was a few $1,000s, if I remember right. It wasn't the 20,000, but I got a $3,000 remorse, don't sue me out of him, and then I got a few $1,000s for a few other items.
You sold the one guy it was
multiple thousands.
It was like 7 or 8 or something.
Which isn't bad.
$1,000.
Yes. And that kind of stuff. And people are always like, well, I don't know how you find that, or I don't know what you're doing. Man, I don't know a lot. That's why I don't boast or brag, because I'm in the game, but the game can always change.
The game finds you.
The game always changes, but that's the thing. I'm doing cards now, but if you're doing, our friends down there in Texas you were telling me about, they're killing it with T-shirts. They're getting the Goodwill vintage clothes. We know our buddy Bill goes around and just finds things, and he'll sell them. We have our soccer. There's just so many aspects to be an expert at that. Yeah, I'm always learning. I'm always developing new things that you can buy and sell, and it's a big wave right now with cards, and I enjoy it. And that's what we're doing. But I know in 5 years it'll be something else.
Totally, yeah. Adapt to the game.
And I'm going to be shifting and going in those directions.
You know the best part, though? Every single person still has to file their taxes. That's whether you make a little bit. Yes, finally this week.
Yeah, people are upset about having to pay taxes now.
I don't get it. If you sell on any platform and you make more than $400, even if you don't get a 1099K or miscellaneous or NEC, whatever acronyms you want to put behind it, you still have to file your taxes, but a lot of people apparently aren't.
Well, that's the people are surprised or shocked, and I get it. It's kind of intimidating at first, just like listing on eBay is kind of intimidating at first, but really it's just doing your taxes. You're a citizen of the country, and that's what's required. And it's not something that's well, now, I've seen a lot of people now, I'm not going to sell on eBay or whatever now.
Thank you very much.
Now that you're going to make a few $100s, I'm making too much money, I don't want to make any extra income, so now I'm not going to do this thing that was bringing me extra money, because at the end of the year I have to account and say, okay, let's say you only made the $400. What are you even paying in taxes kind of off that? Nothing.
Yes,
You just let them know that you're making it. So to say that you're not going to do it anymore out of spite, but I'm saying, well, thank you, because that's one less competitor.
That's right.
And the way that online sales have went the last year really exploded. So
decrease that supply and increase the demand.
I'll be a bigger fish in a smaller pond anytime.
That's what I learned in the economics class that I failed.
It's starting to get dark out there. I have a car out here that I need to drive to your summer home. Apparently that's what we're calling it. Okay. And then I got to walk back and pick up my car again.
Well, maybe I can help you out with that. I haven't walked around the block all week, getting large in charge. Derek just probably sold something on the internet, so he just got filtered again.
They aren't responding to me.
I hope that you can hear this podcast. Like I said, it's kind of a weird episode. Like I said, we're kind of still thrown off. We hope that you can hear this.
Someday, somewhere, this will air. Under the name of Deathpiles and Taxes.
And when it happens, we're all just going to kick back and giggle. It'll be funny.
I'm telling you, give us those reviews. Let us know in the YouTube comments. Just put down what you think we got kicked off for. I know a lot of you guys have listened. We got a lot of pirates and pirate gals. I always say guys, but I mean men, women. Everybody's included in that.
They, hims, she, him. I don't know the real term.
Now we're Adam. You can't do that.
Can't do what? Like I'm trying to be PC.
You're just trying to. Yeah. Now you've offended people.
If you're offended by this podcast, you probably don't want to listen to it.
You probably turned us into Spotify. That's probably what happened.
You said something wrong that got us in trouble.
It probably wasn't me,
but we
it definitely was me.
There are two things in life are for certain, and they are
Deathpiles. Someday you'll hear this, and taxes.